Hi, Rubia. How are you?
Hi, good, thank you.
It was so good to see you today, and I wanted to tell you that I had a really great time observing your class. I saw lots of great work happening. A couple of things that I noticed was that your students were very engaged. Um, they loved the activities where they were participating and sorting. So I think that you did a really great job in engaging the students. I did have a question about the, the introduction of the class. I was wondering, some of your students still seem to be a little bit lost as to the different animal groups. Do you think that it might have been beneficial to maybe do a more thorough review? Do you feel like the students had enough background knowledge to really be prepared to start sorting animals into the categories? What do you think?
Oh, thank you. Thank you because you recognize my work, but you have a reason. In this class, I think the student get the answer because it's review about the last week. We are work in that different animals. For that, in this case, is a review for day, but it's very important. Do you say I need to make the introduce because sometimes the student don't understand very well, and some students have a short memory. For that, I need to review everything with the introduction.
Yes, that's really great insight that you have. And I think that you're right. I think that the introduction, maybe you could do something like a game to help them remember, or they could do like a chart to help remember the different animal groups before you start sorting. Um, just as another way to activate that prior knowledge and get them ready to do the activity that you had planned. So I think, like I said, your class was amazing. Another thing that I was thinking, I noticed during the lesson that one of the students was struggling to remember the different characteristics of the animal groups. For example, she didn't remember that birds have feathers. Do you think that maybe she learns a little bit differently, or would there be something else that would be helpful to the students to help her remember um, the details of the different animal groups?
Oh, yes. I know in this case that students need more help because he has difficult for learning like another student. Um, and then I need to support more she. And you say we I can to we can to use chart. I can to use um different um animal picture or toys for remember about the characteristics for animal. Thank you so much. In the next time, I need to think so about the different type for learning my student. Um, Thank you so much.
Yes, I love those ideas, Rubia. An anchor chart would be a great addition to help your visual learners and your to just refer. And especially you mentioned a special needs student that could definitely benefit from having a visual to refer to. So great job, Rubia. Like I said, I was very impressed. Your lesson was really wonderful. And I think your students really benefited a lot. And if you implement some of those changes, it's just going to be out of this world. Thank you so much, Rubia.
Thank you so much too, because your words and your passion is very hard for me. You support me, and I hope in the next time my role will be better.
Thank you.
Okay. Hola, Fátima. He estado observando. Oh,
Yeah.
Fátima, thank you so much. I observed your class is wonderful. You student follow your direction, your instruction. They give the answer. The more student understand what do you say. And this reviewer is excellent. But I need say some feedback for you because it's very important. We teach for all students. And I know some students understand and they don't need to review. But another student need you review. For that was important introduce in the introduction say resume about the different animal because it's very important your student understand everything uh, before you start the class. That's the observation because when I saw some students don't understand or they confuse. What do you think about that?
I do agree with you. I noticed during the independent work time that some of the students still were struggling with understanding the different animal groups. And so I actually, what I was thinking is that we had just read this book. And so my expectation was that they would know and automatically be able to classify the animals because we just finished talking about it. But I think that you're right because especially for some of my students that struggle a little bit with retaining information or do really well. Um, if we're like talking and very active, I think that it would have been very helpful to do a more thorough introduction to review, really, like you said, the animal groups and say, like, what's a mammal? Well, what makes a mammal? And do a review like that, or maybe even a quick game to help them remember and activate that prior knowledge. I think that would have been really helpful. And during the lesson, I had that thought. So I'm really glad that you said that in the feedback because that is definitely something that I will do next time is plan for a better introduction to really ignite their prior knowledge and help them to remember what we learned. Even if we just read the book, I think it's definitely beneficial to help set them up to be ready for this lesson.
Yes, I I know you have a good work. I have another observation about materials. When you ask the student for book, for notebooks, and something like that, excellent. But when you use a little picture, I observation, but I can't to see what animal was in the picture because I was far from you and I can't to see. That picture is excellent for a small group, but for the whole class, you need to show bigger picture. What do you think about that?
I think that you're right. I'm so glad you came to observe my class because I didn't realize that the picture wasn't able to be seen from the back of the classroom. So I'm glad you came in and sat in the back and told me that. I hadn't, when I was looking at the picture, I was looking for something bright with an animal that the students clearly see. And so the picture that I held up to the class, that's what I was thinking. But it didn't even occur to me to have something of a bigger scale. I assumed that the students in the back could see it. So that's really great feedback, making sure that the visuals that I use are accessible to everyone. I think next time what I'll do if I can't print a bigger picture is maybe use the projector or the screen to show a larger size picture to make sure that everybody can see and participate in that activity. And that's really great feedback because I definitely want all of my students to be able to participate, right? And that helps them to learn and helps them to be engaged. So thank you so much. I can't believe that happened. I'm so grateful for your feedback and your observation.